Now, creating modifiers. So we created the first initial step. Now we will add modifier choices. Click on Edit. We will select, let's say, add chocolate. Add berries. Add ice cream. And say add syrup. Now we want to have add chocolate as pre-selected. We can just add a little box there. Now we can go back into our modifier settings and just verify that everything's correct. Increments are set at 1. Choices are unlimited. Go back into choices and we can X out of this modifier. Now let's say we want to create another modifier. This one will be for remove. And now we'll add an internal name. Remove. We'll put in cheesecake once more. And now this one refers to mod group, say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And close parenthesis. Now these will be, remove options are always multiple unlimited to allow the customer to remove as many as possible if that's desired or specified by customer. So we'll click save here. Now for consistency purposes, I will go back in and fix the name of this modifier. So we want to parenthesis here, and then this part we make in brackets. And now we're consistent. So we will save that. Go back in here. Now we want to remove. So we'll say, let's say customer wants to say no. So no whipped cream. No chocolate shaving. Say that. And that's it. Well, we can always add more. So X out of this one. So now we have these two modifiers created. Now let's say we want to add another cheesecake. Add product. This one will be, say, chocolate chip. Oops. Chocolate chip cheesecake. We will add an internal name that it's Aloha as well, if wanted. Capital. Description. And we'll click save. We'll go into modifiers. And let's say we want to use the same modifier as before, this one. However, there's some additional things we want to add to it. So we can either click it over and use the exact same one, or now with this awesome feature of duplicating, you can click duplicate, put in a new internal description. This will be for our add topping, and this will be the chocolate chip cheesecake. And this one uses mod group 34567. Now, we don't want to save mapping, let's say, because it's different mapping. We could save mapping. Copy choices only are nested groups. We don't have any nested groups, so we can duplicate this group. And now we will add this newly created modifier and saved ourselves a bunch of time adding those mod choices. Now we can go in here, add toppings the same. Here's our new internal description. All the settings are the same. We'll go into choices. Let's say we want to add to this modifier, add chocolate, add extra chocolate shaving. You can add that choice to this one. And since this one is completely new and not shared, it did not affect the one that we copied from. Now we want to add a remove category. So we can add a remove category. And that's our second one. Now let's say we wanted to add a nested group to ice cream. So we'll go into choices, add a new modifier. Say this one is call it fried ice cream. And for internal, one thing to mention is that you have to click exactly on the circle, and it'd be much helpful if we can just click on a box anywhere to make that selection, but we can't, so we have to click on the circle itself. Same here. Internal description seems clickable, but it doesn't do anything. Only show hide opens it. See? Nothing. Very tedious, and 20% of the time I end up clicking on internal description instead of show hide. So here we will put in fried ice cream, and this is let's say cheesecake ice cream mod, and this is mod group 123. That this is, we'll have this one as multiple as well, unlimited. Save, edit, and put in fried ice cream. And we'll put in here regular ice cream scoop. That. Now we'll pre-select this one, and now when the client selects to add ice cream, it'll prompt them to add an ice cream, fried ice cream, or just a regular ice cream. Okay, so that's the general process. Now since this client is not integrated technically, we'll need to show you how to map within menu admin. We'll go back to a different client. Let's just pick take noodles for example. We'll do a testing one. And now let's create a product in here. Well, actually, we already have one. It's really great. There's Surge's noodles. We'll click on Edit. I've selected Aloha here. We can select Demo Vendor for the mapping info. Now let's say we want to map this as an item. Item will be 15100, let's say. Or we'll just do this one, pan butter noodle. We can select copy and paste the item, or we can just type it in 15160 and select test mapping. It tells us that it's pan butter noodle. We can select save, and now that item will be mapped to pan butter noodle. Now if we go into modifier, we can add some modifiers in here. Let's add this one. Well, technically we need to add one that's from the list, so 17530. So we don't want that one because that one won't work for this item. 17530. And since we're saving all the mod groups in here, it's easiest to search, because searching for a name, it's nearly impossible with various numbers of items. We'll select this one to move over there, and let's say we wanted to add this to this item. However, the mod group was 17535, which we wanted 40, which we don't have mapping for. So we can click on duplicate, name this one, and Mido Tofu suggested no protein, mod group 17540. Okay, and now we want to remove all the clear underline mapping. So we will clear it here. Copy choices only. Let's say we want to just copy choices, duplicate the group. Okay, now let's go back in here and we'll take this newly created modifier, get rid of this one, take the one we wanted since we cleared all the mapping. As you can see on the one that was mapped before, we had all the mapping in here. Now when we go into this one, all the mapping is cleared for us, so we want to set mapping. Now since there is no modifier 17540, I'll just use 17530 as an example. So we want to we'll copy here, select paste. We can't copy paste normally, so we'll delete it. This to our 4 like we wanted, let's say. Save that. Go into edit. We can test it, but it doesn't exist. If we had the normal one, the one we wanted, the one that we had set before, save that. We go into test it, click test, and it tells us it's the meatball as we see here. So basically we would repeat the same process all the way down. We would use mod code ID 2 if it was a remove item. So now we'll go back in here, cancel this since we don't want this to cloud our database. Let's go over, Since this one's not used anywhere, we can delete it. Yes, permanently delete. And basically duplicating this modifier saved us about anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes of building out a new modifier. Let's say if we wanted to build a new one and map it, but just change the mod group with all the mod IDs the same, mod choice IDs, we can just go in and just change those really easily and save ourselves a lot of time. Now we'll go back in here. Since we don't want this item, we'll remove that as well. And that's the basic process of building any menu item.